Hello students, today's topic is 12.2 molar mass. And molar mass refers to the mass of 1 mole of substance, and then the unit is gram per mole. So gram mole to the power -1, we can pronounce as gram per mole. And sometimes for calculation, we use gram/mole or gram divided by mole for simple calculation later on. So now what is There's question, what is the molar mass of carbon-12? And actually it's 12 gram per mole. So where does 12 come from? Actually this number is come from the relative atomic mass of carbon in periodic table. And for other element or atom like aluminium, carbon, sulfur, chlorine, actually their relative atomic mass can also find from periodic table because they use carbon-12 as standard. And then what are their molar mass? For example, let's see. Let's see molar mass of aluminium. Actually, the molar mass of aluminium, the number you can refer to the relative atomic number in the periodic table, right? So aluminium is 27. And because as molar mass means that mass in 1 mole, right? So it's a gram per mole, the units. Don't forget the unit. For the relative atomic mass we don't have units. But for molar mass, we have units. So gram per mole. For molar mass of copper, that is 63.5 gram per mole, right? So, but right here is only 63.5 gram, here only 27 gram without per mole, because here is already mentioned, the question already mentioned 1 mole, okay, of the atom, and then the mass is, so that they have already mentioned 1 mole, okay, but here it also mentioned the molar mass. So that if molar mass, then the unit should be gram per mole, remember that, okay? So as I said before, molar mass actually refers to the mass of 1 mole of substance, and then the unit is gram per mole. So here's some example, like the relative atomic mass of sodium is 23, you can refer to the periodic table, and also the molar mass of sodium is 23, but don't forget the unit is gram per mole because I mentioned molar mass. And then the molar mass of oxygen atom is 16 gram per mole. But the molar mass of oxide ions O2 negative still 16 gram per mole because oxide ion just gain 2 electrons compared from others atom. So, but you know the mass of electrons is really small, so that we can negligible. Okay, now you can write the molar mass of the following substance, right? For sodium, it's 23 gram per mole, okay? And sodium ion, it just compared to sodium, it just lose 1 electron. So I already tell you that the mass of electron is negligible, right? So that is also 23 gram per mole. For oxygen, it's 16 gram per mole. For oxide ion, same, right? 16 gram per mole. Okay, so now you remember that the mass of the substance, the molar mass of substance, okay, should be like this. Sometimes referred to the relative atomic mass. Now, for a compound, like for a covalent compound, like example is compare the value of molar mass actually is equal to the value of relative molecular mass of compound, because most of the covalent compound, they are belong to molecule like CO2, CH4, SO2, HCl, so many, etc. And then they are molecules, so then their value of molar mass actually is equal to the value of their relative molecular mass. So for example, The relative molecular mass of carbon dioxide is 44. Actually, 44 come from 12 plus 2 times 16, right? So that the molar mass of carbon dioxide is 44 again, but gram per mole. Don't forget the unit. And for ionic compound, we use the formula mass. We don't use relative molecular mass because they are not molecule. So that the formula mass of a potassium chloride is 74.6. So 39.1 is for potassium and plus 35.5 for chlorine. So they add together. The molar mass of potassium chloride is 74.6. Okay, potassium chloride, 74.6 gram per mole. Don't forget the unit. So here the practice. So the question asks you to calculate the molar mass. So remember that, so this is a molecule. So the number just comes from the relative atomic molecular mass. And part C also molecule, so that the number also comes from the relative molecular mass. And for part B and part D, because they are ionic compounds, so that we say that they are the formula mass. Okay, the formula mass. But for molar mass, actually the value is same as either the relative molecular mass or the formula mass. But don't forget the unit, because molar mass refer to the mass of 1 mole of substance, so that it contains the units. Okay, so I hope you understand.